So by now, we're all familiar with the fake election theories from 2020 and how many prominent Republican entities invested in them. Well, it turns out that investment has come to bite one of them in the ass. Out of the Daily Beast, Arizona GOP went all in on Trump's big lie. Now it's broke. For Republicans who are worried the Trump party is turning into a rump party, the Arizona GOP serves as cautionary warning. Things can always get worse. In case you missed it, political writer John Gabriel sounded the alarm in a recent AZ Central political column. Quote, the Arizona GOP has less than $50,000 in cash reserves as of March 31st. That's not much money to fund crucial expenses such as rent, payroll, and campaign operations. 4 years earlier, it had close to $770,000. End quote. Wow. To go from $770,000 to $50,000 in a matter of 4 years as a political organization is baffling to me. I doubt I'll ever be responsible for that much money at any time in my life. But damn, I would sure want to make sure I spent it well. The article continues, quote, the party blew $300,000 in legal consulting, much of which was focused on overturning Trump's 2020 defeat. All they have to show for it are a Democratic governor and U.S. Senate delegation. End quote. $300,000? 300,000 doubloons? Benjamins? Cheese? You burned through that much money on following through an election conspiracy theory. Jesus, and here I thought buying a bag of Flamas at a gas station was irresponsible. Meanwhile, we have these morons spending $300,000 on a wild goose chase sent from hell. But wait, there's more from the article. The obvious conclusion is that election denial hurts the deniers. This is true for multiple reasons. First, obsessively worrying about having a future election stolen from you can divert energy away from the voter contact programs that might actually prevent, losing elections in the first place. Second, in the aftermath of a loss, pretending you won guarantees zero lessons are learned, even as it continues eating up money, and diverts attention from future election. Third, donors don't want to give money to a crazy party. As Gabriel writes, quote, if they, the Republican Party bosses, waste their money on cyber ninjas and futile lawsuits, they can't be shocked when donations dry up, end quote. The article continues on, this is a national problem for Republicans, but Arizona has had it twice as bad. First, when Trump claimed he won the state in 2020, and next when Trump's disciple Kari Lake followed his same script in 2022. But as Arizona demonstrates, election denial isn't the only thing to fear from a MAGA-fied GOP. From 1995 until 2019, Arizona boasted not one, but 2 Republican senators. And before 2020, the last time a Democrat won the state's presidential election was in 1996. Surprisingly, the shift towards electing Democrats had little to do with the notion that the state has somehow turned blue. It has much more to do with candidate quality and incompetent management by the state's Republican Party. Aside from wasting money on 2 big lies, the Arizona GOP spent more than $530,000 on vanity projects, like a 2022 victory party and bus tour. When you consider the close, down-ballot races, this expense becomes even harder to justify. Okay, so let's return back to my thoughts away from the article. So, not only has the Arizona GOP recklessly spent money on election denial legal antics, only to get burned in the election audit, finding that Biden had won by a wider margin than they had thought, but they're also casually spending their cash on little vanity projects? Talk about a downfall, man. But wait, guys, I have one last little bit from this article that really shows just how dire the situation is for the party in Arizona. The conspiracies and incompetence are only part of the story. In the Grand Canyon state, independent registrations just surpassed Republicans and Democrats. At least some of this is due to Republicans and Democrats abandoning their parties. According to Chuck Warren, a Republican strategist who has worked on voter registration in Arizona, quote, there are 48,893 people who have switched their registration from Republican to Independent since 2018. Because they do not believe politics is a game of addition, the MAGA forces don't seem to mind the shrinkage. At one speech in 2022, Lake literally told John McCain supporters to, quote, get the hell out, end quote. That didn't work out so well for her, or Republicans. This came at a time where up until his death in 2018, McCain was the main force holding the state party line together through collaboration. All right, now that's the end of the article for this segment. Don't worry, it's not coming back. It'll only be in your dreams. So, by looking at the political landscape, the two largest majorities in the state look to shape up to these, two registered blocks, Republicans and Independents. This is bad. Although Dems don't hold a major majority within the state, it's an established fact that independent voters split 60-40 Democrats at the polls. And in an environment where the GOP can't even afford rent for its headquarters, much less initiatives to run campaign ads, door-knocking initiatives, and rallies, it looks like Arizona is going to be, blown wide open to stay blue in 2024. Now, could the Arizona GOP get fundraising and campaign contributions and dark money aid? Of course, that's always on the table. It's entirely within reason. But as it currently stands, that party has a gaping hole in it, and that's John McCain. From what I've been reading, it seems that he was one of the primary reasons the party remained as cohesive for as long as it had been. But following his death, wild and impulsive decisions to follow election denialism and recklessly spend money have become the norm. Given how unstable the political environment is for the Republican Party in Arizona, I don't think there's a big chance that they end up bouncing back. Here's the biggest rule when it comes to understanding voter turnout in these elections. Although Republican voters are amongst the loudest, they are by no means the majority. That 20 to 30% in the middle, the independents, they're just normies, your average Joes. They go grab a coffee at Wawa's or something, or kicking the blues or something. I don't know. I don't keep up with the times. All right? They're just average Joes. When they hear election conspiracies, they just run the other way. They end up just kind of voting for the Dems, not out of any love or like deep loyalty. It's just kind of out of default. It's just kind of looking at the other side and seeing a deranged alcoholic managing a train system, and then you got the other guy. He's kind of a schmuck, but at least he knows what he's doing. Look, I don't know how you do this, man. The Arizona GOP just gave themselves an uppercut to the groin and smiled while doing it. And all for what? To keep losing? To find that their opposition won by more votes than initially thought? It's pretty much par for the course at this point. Now, I am by no means mad about this, but as someone who has, this idea of if I'm in this situation, I want to have like a set series of goals. If I want to hypothetically put myself in their shoes, I'd be pissed as hell. I'd be mad. All right? This is just incompetence to the highest magnitude. Like $300,000 in legal advice on a stupid goose chase of any chance of overturning the election results from 2020 and 2022. God, man. This really just proves that they should have just called Saul. They would have had a better chance.